And anytime I'm telling my friends or anyone who's asking how much it costed me to become a British citizen, they are shocked, and you're gonna be shocked as well, because it costed me over £20,000 to become a British citizen. How much does it cost to become a British citizen? I think that's one of the questions a lot of people would like to know. Now, when you look online how much it costs to apply for a British passport, it's about £88.50 for a standard application, plus postage and stuff. But how much does it actually cost you or myself as an immigrant in the UK? So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how much it has costed me to become a British citizen. Anytime I'm telling my friends or anyone who's asking how much it costed me to become a British citizen, they are shocked, and you're gonna be shocked as well. It costed me over £20,000 to become a British citizen. So in this video, I'm going to share my personal journey, because everybody's journey is different. My circumstances were different. Your circumstances are gonna be different, or they were different. And if you've already applied for your British citizenship for yourself or for your family, kindly comment down below how much it costed you, because I've seen people who have spent less than 10,000, over 10,000. I saw a guy who spent over 100,000 for his family, and they're still on the process of applying this. So comment down below how much it has costed you to become a British citizen, or how much did you think it would cost for an immigrant to become a British citizen. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to break down how much I spent exactly to become a British citizen. As the title suggests, I spent over £20,000 to become a British citizen, and the journey was not easy at all. That's the actual cost of the visas, the biometrics, the tests, English tests and stuff like that. I'm going to be breaking down each different visa I had to apply for, and the actual cost of the visa and the hidden cost I had to spend to get this visa. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The first visa I applied for was a standard visa for me to travel from Germany. I was living in Germany at that time. So for me to travel from Germany to the UK, just to see, where my husband was living and how he was living and stuff like that. He used to come to me, but I had not come to the UK. So we thought, why not come and see how he is living and stuff like that, and meet family. But that visa was denied, so things didn't start off very well. That visa costed me about 115 to apply. I also had to go to Berlin and back from Hamburg to Berlin. So train tickets, overnight stay, and food and stuff like that. So I've just put that total as 500. I'm very sure it costed me more than that, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to round that to £500. So this brings us to the second visa. So we got married, and then I hired a solicitor because I did not want to be refused a visa this time. But it also happened to be a scam. I don't think they knew much about the UK visas because they were scammers. So they advised me to apply for a long family visit visa, which I went ahead and applied for. But the moment I paid them money, then they just disappeared, and they never gave me any more advice. So the total of this long family visit visa, which cost about 1,847, and also I had to pay for biometrics, which you always pay for, and that is a standard of £19.20. And also because I was still in Hamburg, I had to travel to get my biometrics done there, and also to bring my paperwork in Berlin, and that costed me ICE train and accommodation. I've also rounded that to £500. The other cost to this visa was postage service, because they had to send it from Berlin to the UK, and then from UK to Berlin, and then back to me. I've just put this price as £10, but I'm very sure that it costed more than that. But for the sake of keeping the prices low, I went for £10. Also, with every visa you're applying for, or most visas you're applying for to come to the UK, you have to pay for NHS surcharge. That is the immigration health surcharge. The immigration health surcharge is mandatory for anyone applying for a visa longer than 6 months. It allows you to use the National Health Service during your stay, and it costs, for students, it's about £470 per year, and for adults it's about £624 per year. So with this visa, long family visit visa, on top of the other costs I had to pay for my health surcharge of 1 year, that is a total of £624. I'm gonna do all the total later. So moving on to visa number 3. I was already in the UK with my long visit visa, and what happens is that my visa is almost expiring, like I've already explained in this video here. My visa is already expiring and I needed to extend it or apply for a different visa. So what I did not know was that I cannot change from family visit visa to a spouse visa just like that. But they do not really tell you that when you're applying for. So we go ahead and I applied for a spouse visa from a family visit visa. I applied within the UK for a spouse visa. I say this again. If you've already applied for UK visas, you submit your application and immediately you have to pay for the fees. So I did that, I paid for that, and then a week later I received a letter saying your visa has been denied. So I have to go back to where I originally applied for my first visa. I thank God because I come from Kenya, but in this case I was living in Germany. I had to go back to Germany and reapply for the same visa. So the amount of money I lost on my first spouse visa, when you're applying from within the UK, is £1,258. On top of that, you have to pay health surcharge is £624 per year, and a spouse visa lasts you about 33 months. That's 2 years and 9 months. So I've rounded that figure to 1,800 for my surcharge for that particular visa. And also biometrics, it's like they don't have your former biometrics, but you still have to pay for biometrics. So that costed us £19.20. I'm sure there's extra cost there, but I can't really remember. It's a long time ago. All that money was just lost within 1 week. And also then the inconvenience of myself and my son, who is a German citizen, had to go back to Germany. So, and that was about Christmas time. So all the inconveniences of us having to travel back to Germany to reapply for my visa. This part of us going back to Germany costed us more money than we would have expected. So I had to stay in Germany for 3 months before my visa was approved. That means I had to go and find a place to stay in Germany. I also had to travel to Berlin. I also had to pay for a new spouse visa from Germany, and they say that if you're applying for a spouse visa from outside the UK, the price is also higher. So for this particular visa, the cost of the visa itself was £1,846. The NHS surcharge of 1,800 on top of that for the 33 months. And then I had to do an English test. I think I've done 2 English tests so far, and the cost of that is £272. And also I had to travel to Berlin to do my test because there wasn't any test in Hamburg. The other one was in Dusseldorf. And so I had to travel to Berlin to get my test done, and also I had to travel again to submit my applications. So the English test costed me about £272. That's just for the test. And then my train to Berlin and back, that was £250. Accommodation of myself and my son, sometimes we stayed in a hotel for 6 weeks, hotel or B&B for 6 weeks, and that is about in Hamburg. That is about £3,000. We had to cook, we had to find food, and the food costed us about 3,600. And then my very good friend invited us to stay with them, and so that cut the cost a lot for us while we were waiting for this visa to be approved. Apart from that, we had to pay British Airways tickets from London Heathrow to Hamburg, because we had to travel all the way from London Heathrow to Hamburg. I've also included the price for British Airways. We travel to Hamburg, and that is a cost of about 450, and then £100 for food and snacks on the way. Oh, and you still have to do biometrics. So, and a £19.20 for the biometrics. So then we wait for 3 months. My visa is then approved, and then we move back to the UK. We stay with that visa for 33 months, and then I thank God because I was able then to renew my spouse visa from within the UK. So this costed me again £1,258 for the visa itself, £1,800 for the NHS surcharge. I also paid for the biometrics, £19.20, and I'm sure there are other little costs, but I can't really remember at this point. So in total, I applied for 3 spouse visas. One was denied, and then the 2 which you have to stay here and then renew for you to at least have 5 years of stay in the UK. After you've stayed in the UK for 5 years, which for me was longer because of the first year I spent as a family visit visa, you then have to apply for indefinite leave to remain visa. And so we went for it. That was during COVID time. And this visa is the most expensive visa compared to the other prices of the visas. This is the most expensive visa to apply for, the cost of the exact visa. So this costed us £2,885. And then the biometrics again was £19.20. I think for this visa you have to prove that you can speak and understand English. But I think luckily enough I had already done my GCSEs or redone my GCSEs. I come from Kenya, so we had KCSE in Kenya, very similar to GCSEs, but I had to prove that I can understand maths and stuff like that. So I had to retake my English and my maths, which I passed, A in English and B in maths. And with that, I was able to join uni and do a degree in health and social care, which was taught in English. So that way I did not have to apply for English tests and stuff like that. With that, I only put 2 prices for the indefinite leave to remain, but I'm sure it costed a bit more than that. So then, if you already applied for your indefinite leave to remain and you're married to a British citizen, you can actually apply for your British citizenship immediately after you receive that. If you've got your indefinite leave to remain under different circumstances, you probably have to wait for 12 months. For me, after all this hassle with the visas, I just took a huge break and I did not really want anything to do with the visas until something happened, and I thought it's time now to apply for my British citizen. So this is just this June. So for the British citizenship visa, the actual cost of it is £1,630. Before you apply for your British citizenship, you need to take a test which they call Life in the UK test. I will make a separate video about that Life in the UK test, which costs you £50 to book and do the test. And also I spend money on buying books to revise and stuff like that. So the test cost £50. Biometrics again, £19.20. We had to take all these papers to UKVI office, and that costed us, for the appointment alone, was £231. So after you apply for your British citizenship, you wait for it to be approved, and if your visa is approved, then it's time for you to apply for the famous British passport. And like you seen at the beginning of this video, so if you're applying for a standard passport, it costs you £88.50 plus postage. You pay for postage for them to bring back. I think it costed about £96 altogether or something like that. And that brings that to the end of passport worries, visa worries and stuff like that. Before I give you the total cost of my visa journey, I want to say it's not just about the financial cost, it's about emotional cost. the stress of waiting for all these visas, the not knowing if your visa is going to be approved or not, and also you being away from your family members, most of us are, and it's just you and yourself to worry about all these things. It can be a really stressful journey. So if you're in the process of applying for your own visas, be ready. It's gonna be an emotional roller coaster, literally. So it's very important for you to prepare yourself emotionally before you start this journey. So let's do the maths now.
If I could turn back the clock and make sure the light defeated the dark, I'd spend every hour of every day keeping you safe.
My advice is for anyone who is going through this process is to budget for more than just the visa fees. Budget for travel if you need to. Accommodation and legal fees can easily double or triple what you expect to pay. So if you're thinking about applying for British citizenship, plan ahead and make sure that you have enough savings to cover these costs. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Kindly remember to like, comment and subscribe, and share our videos with people you know they are applying for the same visas. Also turn on the notification bell because this is a series of my life becoming a British citizen. I also do videos about immigration in Europe, US, Canada, to study, to work and things like that. So kindly make sure you subscribe and tell a friend about our channel. Thank you very much for your support and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.